Hello and welcome to this channel where I talk about trading in the crypto market. I am going to show you guys how I enter these trades, what I look for before entering the trades, and most importantly, some of the rules that I never break. Guys, so today we are going to be talking about the daily update on the 1 hour time frame on BTC. And looking at it, actually we are arguably bearish in my opinion, and this is not looking too good to me. So we are going to, I actually did mark out some points that I think I should mention to you guys because there are many possible ways that this market can be playing out in this time. There's a lot of, I would say, risky moments trading in this past 2 weeks or the past week. It's not looking too favorable, which is why I've been trading a lot safer. I have been scalp trading, which is very risky. I have been losing more than usual, but of course with the bias that I follow, I also have an arguably profitable gain. So when balanced out, by the way, that's once it's balanced out. So this zone is the first zone that broke, which I feel like is a negative sign that we're on the downtrend. Hence, I marked out this possible move. And then from here, what I'm trying to point out is that I will expect a move up and then a move down here. This zone is where I expect it to hit, mainly because it's the biggest holding line of BTC at the moment, and then I expect it to boom back up. Although with that being said, there are many other ways this price can play out. Price from here can actually just go up to these zones, these three zones, and come down here. Let me just extend that out for you. These three zones right here. These three zones. Those are different options that's possible here. Other than that, honestly, there's a possibility that price can actually come down lower before going up, but I am expecting some sort of a push, even a small one, upwards and then back into this zone. Only then are we gonna fly up. That's what I'm seeing. So I expect price to go to the around 26,500 to the 26,900 range, definitely. With that being said, I am going to be starting off with my confirmation method so that we can see where exactly we see. But with this, I marked out a box confirmation. But with that being said, actually, I do want to point out that price is moving in a very rather you can say funny manner, which I am not at all happy with, to be honest. And yeah, so from here we're definitely going to be starting at the low, just because I feel like we're looking at a selling point. So from here, price broke out, price came back in and it went up. But that's not what I'm looking for, because of course in the high time frame, but this wick here is not considered to be much, which is why I wanted to go down a bit lower. That was 24th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right here. So this is what I'm talking about. Okay. This one here, if we consider this spike, it's a BOS right away. It's a BOS because price broke out and then never broke back in. So either way, we still have to mark out the rather bigger zones on the top of everything else, which will be somewhere around these parts up here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the only possibility that I'm seeing, honestly. But if we go back to the hourly, definitely we are probably gonna be marking out the top now, only because it seems a little sketch in my opinion. So what we can do is we'll actually get, if we get this one, price broke out, price came in and broke basically. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with this. We're gonna get from here till this high. This is our ment box confirmation. So price from here broke out, came into test, and then this was the lowest point afterwards, which is considered a breakout at the moment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this and we're gonna box it up. Price broke out, came back in, and broke out here. So this is going to be our next box. Right, so from there price broke. Oh, this is gonna be a tricky one. We need to see exactly where price came back. So here price came here. This has got to be the spot because that's the only way we can properly mark out where we think it should go. Although, wait, I need to load more than this line here. If we drag, we have to make sure that it's properly. Yeah, so I mean price did come into tap, so if you did entry, you'd get a snipe zone right there. It's a snipe zone, that's what I like to call it. That's our next box, and then where price broke out, it did come into test, and then that's going to be our next box. Let me just delete this for you guys so that you guys have a clearer view. And then from there, what we can do is we will get the next zone, which is right here. This is the point, and price broke out there, came back into test here, and broke out right there. So from there, what we can do is we see that it broke out, came in. That's the movement. That's how price moved in that specific point. So we will get and mark this one out. Okay, so this right here is what we call a BOS. Again, another BOS just happened basically. Just not a good sign at all. So what we can do is since this is gonna be a break OS, so BOS, by the way, if so you guys just know, let me type it out big bold here. So BOS is the break of structure, just so you guys know whenever I'm talking about it. And whenever what I mean by a BOS is, let's say in this specific box, right, if you look closely, price actually broke out here, but then when it came back into test, or fine. Let me use a different example so that you guys could, understand it better, So what's gonna happen here is price came out here, because if you do not want to consider this one just because it's very tight, price came out and broke towards the bottom. That means because what it's supposed to do is come in and then test in that zone and then break out. That's what's supposed to happen. But then with that being said, it broke down. So what I'm trying to prove is with all this whole, like, wait, no, not that. Let me just use the circle ones. With this whole thing here, we've had 5 successful trades, and then this is going to be a negative trade if one was supposed to enter. So the next move here, we need to be looking for the next box confirmation. So with that being said, we definitely want to start with this right here, the next high, right? That's going to be our next box. Because the price broke out and came back into test, right? It did come into test. And then when it tested, we expect it to go down now, which it did. So what's going to happen here, actually, let me just get rid of this because I already explained to you guys this part. Get rid of all of this. I mean, just keep in mind that there is zones everywhere, but I'll get rid of it right now because I do want to emphasize on the box method. So from here, what we would do is, as you can see, price broke right there, right? It came out and it tested in, which would mean this is going to be our next box. And then when it tested in, it would be entry. We're in a selling position at the moment. Right on that zone, we would do a yep, right there, and then we would do a 1.5, which is going to be somewhere there. This is the 1.5, by the way, right there. You see 1.5, and then we get filled out. So we made the whole profit that we want. And then right after that, we should definitely look into some other possibilities, like where do we see price going now that we know this? That's my question for you. Right? So now that the price actually broke down from here, because remember, this whole sell that we made money on was on this box here. Keep that in mind, right? This whole sell that we had was because of this box up here. So what you would do is you would put selling point at the 50%. Make sure you're in a 1.5. Of course, if you get stopped out, you just get a sniper entry and you make your money back. Right, and then so that's what's gonna happen. And then this box now, okay, so now if we get rid of everything behind this and we just look at this box here, let me get rid of this also so you can understand. With this box here, okay, price has been trading, and then it broke down. Let me mark that line out for you. This here's the line, right, that it broke. Whenever price breaks, this is institution movement. And whenever institution has a big influence on where market price is going, that would mean they put in huge capital. And when they put in huge capital to go down to sell at spot, there's a lot of leftover volume that needs to be mitigated. And by mitigated, I mean filled up. So when price comes down here, they actually took a lot of the money because they went against the retail traders. They fought against them. They got their money. They won, they profited, but then there's still leftover. Remember, there's leftover volume that needs to be mitigated. So what they would do is they would go back here, mitigate at least halfway, then they can mitigate the rest later on, but they would mitigate at least halfway, and then, you know what I mean, and then will they properly push low, unless there was a break of structure and then they go the other way. So that's my TA. Like I said, I am expecting price to go around this range. Of course, we're not gonna see a straight move. We're gonna see some, something like that. But then definitely expect, if you guys want to enter a scalp, the only thing I would recommend is maybe somewhere around these zones. But keep in mind, it's not financial advice. I would really emphasize on the fact you guys do your own TA, follow your own bias. Because bias does not necessarily mean a system. It is basically a system of trading, but it's not a trading method. It can also mean like your average average entry position size. It can mean your risk to reward ratio. There's a lot of things that you guys have to figure out before you actually want to fully invested in a trade. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy, of course, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.